Edgar. The knockdown in the second
Sorry.
round, it didn't. Oh.
Sorry, I was just posting something.
You ready? No, it's okay. You ready?
Yeah.
The knockdown in the second round, it didn't seem to land that clean. Can you walk us through what happened there? Did it land clean? Were you more hurt than it looked? But it
Nah, it was a good shot. It was a good hook. I mean, I'm a warrior, man. I shook it off and we got right back to it.
you had him hurt several times throughout the fight. It seemed like you had him hurt more than you did when they stopped it. Were you surprised they stopped it when they did?
Yeah, he was just taking punishment.
Lots.
At this point, it was just he wasn't even. Listen, Steven Butler's dangerous. A wounded animal is a dangerous animal, and I seen his fights numerous times. He never got put out flat in any of his fights. It was always the ref jumping in and stopping the fight, and he was always angry because they stopped it. So, with him, it was just I had him hurt a couple times, and I just didn't want to really press the gas. Because I'm like. He was still talking to me hurt, literally telling me I hit soft and stuff. So he was like, "You hit soft, come to me, come." I'm like, "Oh, this dude's crazy." I was like, "Yeah, I gotta keep sticking that jab, But it was a great fight.
Congratulations on the win, and
Yeah.
thank you for giving us a great fight.
Yeah, thank you.
Edgar, front right here. It seems kind of go off of that. It seems like every time you tagged him, he would stick his tongue out at you. So I guess when you're in there witnessing it, are you just being like, "What is this dude on?" when you're hitting him like that?
That dude's a real Canadian, man, for sure, man. You got fighters that get hurt and they show it. That dude gets hurt and he gets more energy. It's like, what the fuck? You hit it it's to the point that I gotta point him out cold because I feel like every time I kept hurting him, he was getting more energy. He had more energy. He was more aware. He was more alert. But we just stick with the game plan. I knew that when I stood composed and used my jab and the knockout was gonna come eventually.
Lots being made online of the referee at the end. It looked like he just tackled Butler at the end. Did you see that? And have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah. I ran over to him too. I was acting like I was gonna hit him again, cause he's a big shit talker. He thought he was gonna come over here in New York and put me flat out and do it in front of my hometown crowd. I wasn't letting that happen. I knew it was gonna be a dog fight. A lot of people told me man, Berlanga, you crazy for taking a tough fight the way you did. Nobody was expecting that. But one thing for sure, I'm a New York native. I'm Puerto Rican. And I got that warrior blood in me, and that's why we chose Steven Butler.
And Dana was just in here, and he praised the crowd. He said he can't remember a boxing crowd to show up this early for the prelims too. So I guess what was it like being there as the guy everyone came to see?
Yeah, amazing. I'm gonna give a big shout out to all my supporters, all the fans, and all the new fans too. I just seen a father and son out there that it was his first fight, first event ever, and he was sitting right next to. He got VIP access to take a picture of me right now. And he was sitting with Genesis, with Chosen, with my mom, and he was like, man, it's my first fight. This is amazing. I was like, man, there's more to come. I'm excited, just to perform. Fat Joe was right there, front line, all my fights. He was excited, he was happy, but it's, that's what the fans wanted. They wanted a crazy night the way it was, and I gave it to them. Pause.
Good evening, Edgar. Congratulations on your win tonight. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout fight week, you made, you said you were interested in certain people.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jaime Munguia. You mentioned right now Caleb Plant. What do you feel is next for you?
I got to talk with my team, Keith Conley, Dana White, Nick Khan, Harrison, and, to see what's next for us on the menu. I want Chris Eubank. I've been talking about him for a long time. I think that'll be a big, big mega fight in London. We could get it on in November, December. I'm really trying to shoot for that fight. But if he's not on the menu, then you got Jaime Munguia. That's a big fight. I want, Mexico versus Puerto Rico is going to be a big, big, big night. He's young. He's explosive, too. You got Caleb Plant. I don't know if he's still retired or he's coming back. You got Jamal Charlo. That's a great fight as well. Then the fight that we want, man, the Hamza Sheeraz fight.
That's where I was gonna head next.
Yeah, we want that fight, man. I want that smoke. But before I get that smoke, I want a world title, and I want to take it from either Munguia or one of these guys, so that way when we do meet up with Hamza Sheeraz, he's gonna have the WBO. I'm gonna have a world title, and we could do a unification fight, and it's gonna be the biggest fight in boxing.
Thank you, Edgar. Congratulations.
Edgar, we spoke about overcoming adversity earlier this month.
Yeah.
You overcame adversity after you got knocked down in the second round. Talk about what your mindset was, what your corner told you after that knockdown.
Just stay focused. You know, it was a great shot he hit me with. I was good. You know, I wasn't hurt or anything. I was aware. You know what I mean? I was actually upset in the corner. I was like, damn, I got hit. Like, fuck. All right, now let's regroup. Now the fight starts. You know, it's sort of you know, like that Tito Trinidad effect. You know, when Tito got knocked down, it was like everybody knew the fight was on. Like, okay, let's get it. Like, this guy got knocked down, but now the fight is on, and you know that's what I bring. You know, I bring that tough, that warrior. You know what I'm saying? The fight that people want. You know, that's what the fight fans love. They don't. You know, fight fans, and it's sad, right? That you got the most skillful fighters out there. You know, and these guys, they say, oh, you know, like my brother Shakur. You know, people run, oh, this guy's boring. You know, but at the end of the day, that's real boxing. You know, but then you got fights like tonight, what I did, you know, and it's exciting, you know, but that's what the boxing, when it's all said and done, you know, a lot of like the true boxing fans, like myself, I love IQ, I love the styles of you know Shakur's, of the Andre Wars, like that type of stuff, but you know the crowd loves, man, they love a big tough fight, you know what I mean, when you get dropped and then you come back and you stop an opponent, you know, they love it.
And you fought nearly a dozen times here, but this was your first under Zufa. Talk about the Zufa boxing experience.
Oh man, Zufa is amazing. Shout out to Zufa. Shout out to Dana White. Shout out to Harrison. Shout out to Nick Khan, and shout out to the whole Zufa boxing team. Everybody that's affiliated with Zufa, amazing, man. It's just a different type of energy, you know, that Dana brings into the sport. You know, he's real big on branding. You know, as you can see, we was in Times Square. You know, they had our flyers all throughout Manhattan, all the 5 boroughs of New York, and that's what real promotion is. You know, and we just getting our feet wet with them right now. You know, so it's gonna be much bigger and better things to come. It's an amazing experience. The way Fight Week was, the way they took care of us. You know, they just had food. You know what I'm saying, for fighters. You know, a lot of fighters can't afford food for Fight Week. You know, it's hard, especially fighters coming up, and they had provided food, you know what I mean? They provided at the PI, they provided food, they provided a PT, they provided a cut man, they provided like the top guys in the sport to wrap hands. So, you know, that's something that, you know, they're really invested into their fighters for sure.
Just one right here, Edgar. You're coming off a amazing fight tonight, but tell me what you learned with your last fight with Sheeraz, you know, getting stopped throughout that time mentally, preparing for another firefight. Did you get any flashbacks from that fight? And you know, what have you learned throughout that whole experience?
Nah, I didn't get no flashbacks. I was good. You know, at the end of the day, man, I'm a true warrior. You know, I'm a true warrior. I love fighting. This is in my blood and my DNA. You know, just coming off, you know, my last fight with Sheeraz. You know, it was tough for me, man. You know, I went through a slight depression. I was trying to find my way. It was a lot of deep things that I went through, and you know, I came out like a true champ. You know, I fasted. You know, I prayed. You know, I was just getting closer with Yahuwah, and man, all glory goes to him. You know, I came out that tough time, man. Shout out to Coach Mark, you know, for helping me and guiding me in that direction. You know what I'm saying, to bounce back. And it was an amazing camp. You know, I'm excited. Now, you know, my feet is wet once again with a big TKO victory, and we're looking to fight the best now.
Do you fight off the emotion with the crowd, because it feels like you have a special connection with them? Did you hear them when they got hot in there? You hear,
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm telling you, you know, you got, you know, man. One thing about me, I know I got skill, but one thing about me, about Edgar Berlanga, is people know I'm coming to fight, and I fight for my fans, man. I love my supporters. You know, you got kids out there that's looking up to me, that's on the verge to becoming a professional athlete, you know, and I know that I'm a role model for them, even for my son Chosen, you know, even the adults out there, even the youth, you know what I mean? I just love that feeling, you know, that feeling is unexplainable. Just coming into your city, Madison Square Garden, and to perform in front of the hometown crowd it's a different feeling, man. And you know, I love my fans for real, for real. I love them. I love my supporters, and even the haters. You know, the haters will help me. You know, the haters help me, and it's just a great feeling.
Edgar, how are you? I'm here with my sister here. We've been following your career and as well as Adrian Broner's career for some time now. And,
Yeah,
you know, if you're familiar with what's going on with him, he's kind of experiencing a bit of a comeback.
yeah,
I know you yourself, just to piggyback off what you said previously, you went through that dark time.
yeah.
What advice do you have to young fighters or long-standing fighters when they experience that loss? Where do they need to go mentally to bring themselves back like you did?
Um, first and foremost, you know, you have to like really like the crowd, cause there was certain people that was around that I shouldn't be around,
Right.
and you have to go out there and like basically be by yourself and learn how to be by yourself and prayer and I fasted and I got close with the Lord and you know, always know, right, for the kids out there, right? Always know that when you're going through tough times and you're going through that hardship and you're going through deaths in the family, through a loss or anything, I just want you to always know that you're in that tunnel, right? And when you're in that tunnel, it's dark, but you're always gonna see light at the end of the tunnel. You're always gonna see light, no matter what.
Right.
God gives his strongest battles to the strongest soldiers,
Right.
and just always know that to never give up, to keep fighting, whatever you're fighting, any demon, whatever you're fighting out there, whatever, just keep fighting. You're gonna overcome it eventually. You have to stay strong mentally, and even having, you know, being around good people. What I did was I put my circle, I changed my circle, and I made sure I had good people around me, positive people with good energy, you know. And man, that was the best thing that I did, you know, was just that and just going back to my family, you know, just being a good father,
Right.
you know, to Chosen. And I'm changing, you know, I'm becoming more of a man. You know, not saying that I was before, but I feel like I was younger, you know, I was into the fast life stuff and,
Right.
you know, going out and I had the same regimen for every fight, you know, party, you know, blow money and, you know, and my dad was here helping me, you know, like invest my money into certain things, you know, but now it's like I'm just focusing on becoming a world champion now
Right.
and just, you know, really being with my family, world champion status. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be boxing until I'm 40, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm not even, who knows, I won't be boxing until I'm 35, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm talented in many areas, you know, I want to become a wrestler. I want to go into the WWE.
Hey.
I made a crazy song, Baby Mama, with
Which
a
I
music
love.
video.
Shout out to
1.2
the Baby
million,
Mama
yeah,
song. Awesome
yeah,
song.
and, you know, and
Really, really good.
Fat Joe loves the song. You seen Rick Ross
Right.
pop into the song in the club. You know, DJ Khaled co-signed me, you know, for that song. So, you know, I'm talented in America.
Multi-talented.
Yeah,
Right.
multi-talented.
100%.
But, you know, right now the job is boxing. You know, that's my first thing. That's my bread and butter. But, you know, I got many areas where I'm good at. But right now, you know, just focusing on boxing and just staying focused. You know, yeah, and that's
Just one
all.
more
Yep.
question. Do you think that boxing as a whole, the industry as a whole, sort of needs to make more space for the mental health aspect of what fighters go through after they come out these wins and losses? Because sometimes you can win a big fight and it's like such a big rush, right?
Yeah.
But then when that comes down, it's like, you know, you want to get that again, you want to chase that
Yeah.
again, like, and then if you know, come off a loss, you could, you know, it could ruin someone, you know.
Yeah.
So do you think that boxing should sort of introduce a little bit more attention to like the mental health aspect?
Yeah, for sure. I think that you know, a lot of fighters need it. Even fighters, it's crazy. Even fighters that's winning, that's at the top
Right.
of the, you know, that's at the top. You know, you look at guys that like David Benavidez, you know, that's going through with his wife.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and he's at the top right now. You know, he's undefeated, but I know he's going through some tough times. You know,
Right.
you got a lot of fighters, man, that go through that hardship. You know, and I feel like we should come up with something where
Right.
you know that fighters could look up to and basically like run
Like go to.
yeah, go to like, yo,
Right.
I could go here and I could get advice, you know, because a lot of fighters don't understand that you have to have a good team, a good circle. That's one thing why I came out of that dark place was I had a great team. You know, you see you know, guys like Javante Davis, you know, it's hard for him. You know, he doesn't, and me and him is, you know, we don't mess with each other nothing. But at the end of the day, you know, we all human, and just having a good team, a good circle around you, good positive people, that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? That can help you get out those dark places for
100%.
sure.
Congratulations, champ.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Edgar. You know, big win. What's your message to Puerto Rico, and who would you like to fight in wrestling?
Puerto Rico, I love you guys. Yo lo amo Puerto Rico mucho. Y como siempre, yo arriba con mi bandera. And next fight, Chris Eubank, Jaime Munguia.
Wrestling, though.
Oh, wrestling. Wrestling. Yeah, wrestling. I want to do like a tag team match with my brother Damian Priest. I would love to do that. That's like one of my dreams. Even like a triple threat match, like me, Damian Priest, and Bad Bunny. You know, that'd be crazy. Yeah, I was talking to Dana yesterday, and he was laughing because I told him I have everything. Like I told Damian Priest what I have. I was like, yo, listen, I want to come with that New York energy, with the chains on, with the half moon. You know, cut my beard off. You know, I'm tattooed up. You know what I mean? And I got the punch and everything, my special move and everything, like the finisher. I call it the Boricua boom. It's like a right hand. And I was telling Dana, I was like, I'm gonna have the crowd screaming Boricua boom, and I'm gonna just snuff them through boom and put them out. But yeah, stuff like that, man. I think, you know, I don't want to limit myself. Like if I'm talented in many areas, you know, I was looking at J-Lo like a month back, and I was seeing her, you know, throughout social media, and then all of a sudden I click on Netflix and I see she just dropped a new movie, and I'm like, dang, like she's an actor, she's a singer, modeling, she does a whole bunch of stuff. You see my brother Fat Joe still making hits at 50, and then he got the #1 podcast, Joe and Jada. Like this dude, he's on another level, you know, and that's what creates superstars. You know, we not one dimension. You know, we got a lot of things, and I feel like with the music, with the wrestling, with boxing, man, I just want to become a superstar in life and just let the world know that you could do anything.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello, Edgar. Hi, Ryan Sungalia with The Good Fight. Congratulations on your win tonight. I wanted to talk about the third round because you got off the canvas at the end of the second, and it looked like you had blood in your eyes. You wanted to go out there and even the score, and you were able to hurt him. I thought that was a 10-8 round without a knockdown. Was it hard to get back to what was working early on and being disciplined with the jab and being like, okay, I need to be patient and I'm going to get him out of here, but I can't rush it?
Shout out to Coach Mark, man. We gotta clap it up for this guy. You know, Coach Mark is amazing. We got tremendous chemistry. He knows. Listen, one thing about Coach Mark, he knows I'm a dog, and he knows he actually he loves me so much, literally loves me so much that, and sometimes in camp, he won't bring in like real tough guys because he knows how I get. Like I get crazy. Like I love it. I love that fighting. Like I love getting it in. And he wants me to box, use my jab, and work on things. You know what I'm saying? So, but Coach Mark knows me, man. He knows, and definitely like after that second round, he regrouped me. You know what I mean? I had, like you said, I had blood in my eyes. I seen him and I was like, Butler, I'm a break your head, boy. You know what I mean? But Coach Mark was like, yo, keep using your jab, man. You're gonna get this guy, man. Keep using your jab. Keep using the feints. Keep using your jab, man. Keep using your feints, man. Come on, man. Come on. I'm like, all right, I got you. You know, but that's chemistry. You know what I'm saying? I've been training with him. He's the guy that made me into the knockout artist, into the monster. And yeah, shout out to Coach Mark for sure.
And, you know, I know that there was a lot of bad blood before the fight. You said something to him after the first round. What did you say to him as he was going back to his corner after the first round? And did you guys say anything to each other afterwards?
After the first round, I was just looking at him. Yo, I'm a New Yorker, man.
I can
like
hear
if I wasn't at the level that if I wasn't at the level where I'm at right now, I think like remember the ref like jumped in the middle of us after the first round. I wanted to hook him, boom. But obviously I can't. You know, I'm not that dumb. You know what I mean? I'm a professional. But that's how much like I didn't like this guy. You know what I mean? And even after the fight, like I won whatever, but it's just his mannerism. You know, I don't like it. You know what I mean? His mannerism, how his dad was talking. My team, like, you know, the guys that's from here, from New York. The father was just talking crazy, man, and the father was about to get stomped out in front of the Western, like bad. No, for real. The father was gonna get an ass whooping before the fight, and that Butler's dad and Butler's mom, I guess, came in and was like, "You're not gonna hit." Was like telling the guys like, "You're not gonna beat him, my man." This dude was talking crazy. My son is gonna knock your guy out, and asking my boys to fight him. And these dudes are A deep. They're like, "Oh, your father's gonna get an ass whooping, man." You know, but it was just energy like that. You know what I mean? That's not good. You know, this dude was just. They're all over the place. You know, I'm just glad, man, we got the victory. That's the most important thing.
Thank you very much.
Hey Edgar, right here. Congratulations on the win tonight. It's a little while away. I would say around 11 months away. But something we see in combat sports all the time is celebration of cultures and everything. Could we see you pushing Zufa to try and put on a Puerto Rican Day themed card next year for the Puerto Rican Day parade, or would you like to enjoy it and have it off, or would you like it to be a party and celebrate?
100%, 1,000%. Dana, Nick Khan, the whole zoo. Listen, they were all the smoke, and that's why, you know. And shout out to Turkey. You know, Turkey. He's one of the big names behind Zufa as well. You know, shout out to Turkey. That's what we need. You know, we need a big card now for next year, June, and I'm gonna make sure we can save that date.
I mean, you saw it tonight. It was electric for you in there. I feel like with the added pressure of the Puerto Rican Day Parade and a bunch of Puerto Rican fighters on the undercard, a celebration of New York City and Puerto Rican fighters, it could be something that could bring Zufa and you to the next level in terms of stardom.
Yeah, we need all the young Puerto Rican fighters to come sign with Zufa. Man, we got to take a trip to Puerto Rico. Me, Dana. You know, we go out there and scout some of these Puerto Rican fighters and sign them because they out there. And trust me, there's a lot of good ones. And you go to them caseríos. You know, the caseríos is like the projects out here. You go over there, these guys fight, man. You know, they just don't have a big platform to showcase their skill. You know, Puerto Rico's a little bit behind on that. You know, and they trying. Listen, man, I wanna fight out there in Puerto Rico. That's my dream to make a big fight happen in the Choliseo. Even if it's not a big fight, because a lot of world champions, a lot of big names won't go to Puerto Rico to fight me. But even if we could just give a fight to Puerto Rico, I want to do it. They dying for me to be out there and fight, you know. And yeah, I want to keep signing these fighters to Zufa. You know, Zufa's the way, the only way, and we going up.
All right, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.